Don't come here for your news. We're ridiculous former backyard wrestlers.
Don't come here for probably anything other than to laugh at three idiots. I think that's pretty much
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Gal Robinson. With us tonight is the gorgeous, lovely Leon. Say hi, Leon.
Leon.
Oos. And then also with us tonight is the loquacious Town Drunk. How you doing, Town?
I'm trying to figure out what voice you introduced Leon in, but
this voice. I don't know.
Loquacious or vivacious.
Kind of like Cookie Monster, but he smoked too many cigarettes.
That's kind of, yeah. I mean, that's
Cookie Monster with a smoker's cough.
What do we think of Dynamite?
I was just gonna say,
I beat you to it.
Fucking shit. Darby Allin breaks his foot and says, "Oh darn, I can't go to Everest," and then instead goes skateboarding with Tony Hawk, and then he gets hit in the face with a bus, and he says, "I'm gonna go wrestle." What the fuck? This guy's insane.
That pop though, that was.
Oh my god, yes.
Because you couldn't have any. That was like the best backup you could have.
Mm-hmm.
Like he came out, that pop was awesome. I thought that moment was great. I think it makes sense too.
I thought it was going to be Claudio, to be honest. But bringing Darby back makes a lot of sense too.
I watching this tonight when Claudio came out and saved those two from getting beat up. I thought he was going to turn on.
Oh, I could see that.
I don't know if they do it that quick. I think they let that set up ride a little longer. But I was sitting there like, oh, is he going to turn on him?
I could see him and Yuta turning on the Blackpool Combat Club, starting their own thing.
Yeah.
Especially once Daniel goes. Danielson.
The promo Willow cut was, holy shit, was that captivating. Mm-hmm. Mercedes not so much, but Willow really.
Mercedes was better, and I think.
Is she heel now?
It's hard to tell, but she's giving me the same vibes that Jericho gives me, except that she's not an intolerable. She's like, she's being disingenuously.
Leon's face,
insincere, disingenuously. What am I trying to say?
She's trying to act like she's being sincere and happy and all that.
Yes,
and she's really just full of herself.
She's being like the over exaggeration of what CM Punk was when he came into AEW. She's like super excited and she's like playing the part. And I don't know if that's intentional, but that's kind of how I'm reading it, and I think that it helps to read it that way.
So what you're telling me is that Mercedes Moné is gonna throw a chair at Willow and hit her in the face, and then like bite Julia Hart's arm, kind of like CM Punk did when he came in. Is that what I'm getting?
Why not? Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm for it. Like that feud is. I don't care about Mercedes' promo abilities. It's going to be a great match, and I think that.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
I think they need to extend this feud out longer so that they can come back to it. I also think Mercedes. Oh, mine just did it. Mercedes just does better as a heel.
What else did I think? The opener was okay. It was a good show. I didn't think it was bad.
It was a solid show. Swerve's match was good.
Yep.
Cage surprises me every time he gets in the ring, because Brian Cage does not look like a guy who can do the shit that he can do. And he has charisma, he has size, he has the look. I think he's another one of those guys that just needs like one or two more things to go his way, and he could make it.
I think so.
I mean, his promos aren't great, but in AEW, that doesn't matter as much.
I think that's why the WWE didn't hire him. Also, he does look like he does some unnatural things.
Every single time I see him in the ring, I think of
Yeah.
you.
He takes his Redcon supplements down.
My bad. I'm sorry.
All of them, all at
Just
once, right
and
in
that
his
might
booty cheek.
be actually working against them. That look, if you
Potentially,
think
yeah.
about it, because if you want to throw somebody on there, we're gonna put this this meathead up there. It's like, oh, okay, it's not really what we are. So
I didn't. They. Mm,
You know, I never really thought about that, but yeah, he really sticks out like a sore thumb there,
mm-hmm.
like body wise,
he wouldn't.
appearance wise. Yeah.
He would be pretty noticeable in WWE these days, but it wouldn't be as bad. You know,
Yeah.
if it was like 1994, or no, I think let's take it back. 92, 94, not a good year. 92, 91. Tony Storm had a good promo.
The horror we all
Tony Storm
adore.
always has good promos.
She does.
She's just on fire. I mean, everything she does is amazing.
She just gets better. She
Magic.
just keeps getting better.
I can't see her losing this next match and losing the championship. I mean, I don't think there's any way. I just don't think they built her opponent up very well.
It'd be nice to see Serena in the ring again.
Yep.
You're right. They haven't.
Putting on a good match.
They could have her surprise and win, but I'm not sure why you would pull the rug out from Tony Storm. You know what I mean at this moment, because I think she's got a lot of legs. I'm very curious with her when she loses that belt, if they're going to just drop her down like they always do and kind of forget about you, or if they're going to keep going with her because they put so much into that character. Is she one that's going to lose and then still get kind of the spotlight?
I think so.
Because that's a huge issue in AEW.
But I think
she might get the spotlight. I could almost see like a big character change again when she loses, like last time.
Yeah,
like the whole losing the title, like losing the title caused pretty much like a mental break for her character and brought us Timeless. I could almost see them, having it losing it again, have it break her again, and go somewhere completely different. Who knows? But I'm very curious to see what they do with it. Do.
Do.
The most mature podcast in the world, right here.
Absolutely.
We
That's why we
laugh
talk
at-
about wrestling.
We laugh at
I am
Doo-Doo
behind
Joe.
on my wrestling, but I'm here for the occasional bon mot or verbal non sequitur.
That is the fanciest I've ever heard a poop joke be described.
What the fuck are we doing?
Hey, that is what I do.
You do it well, Leon. You do it well.
Highbrow poop jokes, baby.
Jesus Christ, I love it. Oh, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I love it, Leon.
I love it.
You
need a shirt. Hurley Cameron was good in the ring. I don't know. It was a good Dynamite. I can't think of anything else that happened.
Nothing else really kind of stuck out to me. I thought it was a solid show all around.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks were insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Perry on commentary was he's pissed. Like in real life, he's pissed, and you could tell, and it's like he's not acting anymore. He's just kind of being himself, and it made a huge difference because his last heel character really was a little rough at times. So he's really starting to click for me as a heel.
Oh, you mean when he was under Christian? No.
No,
it was when he was facing Hook. Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
I think I think the Bucks are like a perfect pairing for him. I think he's probably learning a lot from them.
Yeah, it's a very good fit.
Not to mention Okada.
Okada's amazing.
Bitch.
He's just amazing. What else do we? What else do we need to talk about?
So we have some stuff. Lillian Garcia came back. That was pretty cool.
That's good news. I like it.
Yeah,
Lillian!
I'm happy that they're tapping into this. These people who got the shaft from the previous regime, and I think Triple H did a really good job building rapport with these people, and now it's coming back to help him a lot.
Yeah. It's weird to me how the previous regime went through announcers. They went through them so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about all the announcers, and I look like right now with Samantha Irvin. She's incredible. She's one of the best announcers ever.
Mm-hmm.
She's that good. Like, she's really, really good. They're gonna keep her around forever because she's that good. You know what I mean?
Should.
It's not like
yeah.
It's not like, and Lillian Garcia was good, but it was one day it was like, yeah, get her out of here. We don't care.
Yeah.
Even though the fans get used to a person, they kind of have that respect. So
when she got the typical divas treatment.
Yeah.
I think it was sometime after they did that routinely, but
yeah,
I'm glad that she was able to come back after that on a high note, because it seems like she got a good reaction from the crowd, which she should. She's fucking amazing. I miss Lillian.
She was great.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other people that happened to. Justin Roberts, so on and so forth. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird.
Yapper.
But it was almost like they didn't want them to get too over.
Yeah.
You know, because I think a lot of what they did, like when the interviewers, if they were too tall, they would have to like lean down so the wrestlers look bigger. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of that. It's really hilarious. Look it up.
I believe it.
Legit.
And with their feet really wide apart.
Yeah, stuff like that, or like have to squat down, you know, and like stand there and interview that way. Like they never do that in AEW, which I think is, you know, and I think stuff like that, just that stupid little stuff like that is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's finally starting to go away with Trips.
And
He's
thank God, it's just like fucking hell. I don't even have extra words. Just fucking hell. It drives me nuts. Like you look at that era, and you just go like it's just cringy and it hurts, and like to be a wrestling fan at that point, which for at
how
least
far back are you going?
Kind of.
Are you going back to like the mid 2000s? Because if you go back to when this stuff started in like the 80s, when he started doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 80s, it worked because you made people seem larger than life. You're selling these humongous superstars to these kids. I get it. But then to just keep doing it when it kind of became passe, it's just like, okay, this is...
yeah, but it's...
like putting Andre on a box.
Yeah.
It's dehumanizing. Like, leave Andre the size that he is. Leave Gene Finkel the size that he is. And certain individuals already had... I don't know. Just like...
Hey,
Gene Finkel. How do you not know who Gene Finkel is? I don't know.
Who the fuck is Gene Finkel?
I'm just saying.
The title of this episode needs to be Gene Finkel. That's it.
I'm sure it will be in there.
Gene Finkel.
Made me lose my train of thought.
No, I get what you're saying. They're dehumanizing him. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in that 80s style when everything was larger than life, if you turn on a movie, we're going to do all sorts of camera tricks to make people look taller, make people look bigger. It's the same thing. So is it dehumanizing when we do it in a movie?
It's not the same thing though. It's not, because when you're doing a movie, you're talking about a character. When you're talking about a wrestler, that wrestler in our eyes is that person. Now, we can talk about how their character is separate, but...
Isn't that a character?
It's them, though. We're seeing them as that person every single week. When we see The Undertaker, we're seeing Undertaker as that person every single week. So if you're going to make him stand on a box so that he looks a little bit taller, you're misrepresenting who that person actually is. If you're talking about Sylvester Stallone,
they're totally misrepresenting who they are. That was what they did, but that was the idea was to make them seem larger than life, you know, and do those things and do those tricks. I get it.
It's a thing that they did for a long time. It just drives me nuts. That's all. I mean,
it got so passe though. Once the business got a little smarter in the late 90s, like we could see through your shit, and like everybody thought it was dumb, you know. And you have an interviewer who's 5'9" in like huge heels. And suddenly she's like the same height as Rey Mysterio. It's like, what happened? Did somebody cut her off at the knees? So yeah. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
What else do we have? What else do we have on the wonderful list?
Warner Brothers and AEW are apparently still in discussions about what their contract is going to be, whether they're going to be on Max. Warner Brothers clearly wants them on Max. I don't really know what to say about this because we've talked about it before, and it's just like it needs. Well,
the issue is that TNT and TBS just lost the NBA.
Oh, did they?
Which is a huge deal. So they have those like Thursday night games and everything or whatever. They lost the NBA, so they're
pretty much fucked then.
So they need something to kind of bank around, and I think that's what AEW is going to be because now it's their highest rated show. So I think they'll get a good number. They're not going to get the NBA's money, obviously. They're not going to get that much. But, they should be able to make out pretty well. Putting them on Max, I'm all for. I have Max, like Max. The shows on there. I mean, it's going to be an easier way for them to compete with WWE in that area,
and for also for Max to compete with Netflix.
Yeah, for sure. And Peacock.
And Peacock.
Yep. Doing businesses.
Yeah.
Doing business things.
Leon the businessman.
Mergers and acquisitions.
The only other thing that I have is Cash Wheeler having his case thrown out. Again, I don't have anything to say about it. Like, the only thing that I can think about this is maybe this will give him and FTR more time on TV. I have to believe that to some extent Tony Khan was keeping them off TV in case something went south.
I almost wonder if Tony Khan knew this was going to happen, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's pretty drawn out. Clearly not what they said it was, or they didn't want to deal with it, or something like that. Who knows what happened? But according to the law, he didn't do it. So, what are we thinking when we start looking at some of these houses and some of these ratings that we're seeing out of AEW, and the ratings are starting to go down for WWE as well? What do you two think about those ratings for AEW?
I mean,
I really haven't paid attention.
But
you see some of those photos from the houses, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, some of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
I can't speak for WWE because they had a solid show for 40, solid house, solid everything. But it's fucking WrestleMania, so like they do that anyway.
Well, they went to Backlash in France too and had a similar house. I mean, they really knocked that one out of the park too. They're just hotter, I think, than AEW right now. But here's my other question because I can delve further into this.
Yeah.
How come we can't sell any tickets at TV, and then you can go to a pay-per-view and sell out anything? Does AEW TV just not matter anymore? Like, what's the piece that they're missing there?
Wow. My knee-jerk response is just I don't care, because I don't like these numbers. People fight over them, and I just don't care. It frustrates me that I don't know. Leon, do you have something to say? Because I can't form words around what I'm trying to say.
I mean, maybe something to do with the fact that for pay-per-views, they tend to put those huge, you never thought you'd see them, but oh my God, I can't miss them, dream match type things on there. Like, yes, we still get really ridiculous quality matches on TV frequently, but for the pay-per-views, they're putting those you can't miss this shit stuff on the pay-per-views, and it's advertised and it's known ahead of time, so people are
they've picked up
to go there for it.
they've picked up their advertising for Dynamite and Collision and Rampage quite a bit, and they're trying to throw stuff out there, which I think would help.
I would be curious to know what the Rampage, like when they do Rampage and Collision, swap those Collision and Rampage together. I would be interested in knowing like how those shows are doing, both in the house and on TV, because I feel like that just feels like a really good format for them.
TV. When they ran the 3-hour Collision with the Rampage right after Collision, that rating was up. It died after Rampage started, but that rating was up. The house was not good though. I mean, I think that was a house that might not even have been 3,000 people. Maybe the arenas are too big?
Maybe.
I mean, is that a possibility for them? Because for a while there, they were selling out 5,000 seat arenas pretty easy. So
I don't know. Like, it's just there's part of me that's just like it's the business is cyclical, right? But I also look at like what happened in All In, and it's kind of just been like their ticket sales have been petering out from abysmal ever since All In. Like it dropped really fiercely right towards All Out, and then it's kind of just keeps going down. It seems like.
But they keep selling out these pay-per-views, and that one, like this one Sting was at, that was almost 15,000 people. The last one, when Swerve won, that was in front of like 6, I think, 5 or 6. That sold out pretty easy. But like for a TV, we can't get 3. I mean, it's such a weird thing. But it's almost like we don't think TV is as important as the pay-per-view.
Damn, the Swerve pay-per-view was only 6,000 in attendance.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
It's just it's super weird.
For an occasion like that, that's wow.
But they sold out the arena. They just didn't get a big arena.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. It's very weird to watch right now. I mean, it's just, and the pay-per-view buys aren't bad. I think if it was on Max, I think more people would watch it.
Potentially,
it's just a very interesting thing that's happening. And it's some nights you can't tell, and some nights you watch and you're like, oh, there's nobody there. Like that last one in Jacksonville. There was nobody there. There was like nobody there.
I feel like the ones they just did in Canada did pretty well though. I'll be honest, I haven't really paid attention to the crowd.
Yeah. Well, you do, because you hear and you can kind of tell. Like that Jacksonville one, you can tell there was nobody there. I thought the Canada ones looked and sounded pretty good. Tonight's crowd sounded good. It looked like there was people there, but I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. And WWE's just selling out everything right now. They're just hot, I guess. That's part of it. But
maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's just oversaturation generally in the wrestling industry, and people are gravitating more towards WWE because it's a more mainstream product. I don't know. I keep going back to
it's the more familiar product, yeah.
Right.
I don't. Their buy rates aren't down for pay-per-views. Their buy rates are doing great. They're holding steady, if not they're growing a little bit. I think it's it's just that TV. It's so weird.
It just might be that their focus has shifted from constantly selling out shows, weekly shows, because they realize that it's not happening right now. So their focus is more on the pay-per-views. Let's get people to pay for the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could it possibly be something with like people are willing to travel and go to these destination things for the pay-per-views, but for
pay-per-views are also on Saturdays or Sundays.
Rampage, yeah.
They're in the middle of the
Rampage, Dynamite, and everything. Yeah, it's whoever's in that area. People aren't making that a destination type thing. It's whoever's in the area who can, hey, what do you want to do Wednesday night? You want to go watch some wrestling? That's about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like people are booking flights and hotels to go watch Dynamite.
No.
But
I don't know.
for All In or Double or Nothing or something like that,
Yeah, they'll
then
go
they
for that.
are.
They'll sell out. I think that's a good point, Leon.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point.
I think they just generally spend a lot of time hyping up, and they've gotten really good at it, hyping up the pay-per-view. They always have one key event, the Sting retirement or Swerve's facing Samoa Joe. They have one thing that they're focusing everything around, and then they have all of these other matches that pop up that we know are going to be fire, so we want to go watch those.
Absolutely.
But they don't do that with they don't do that with the weekly programming anymore. And I think part of that might be that it's just oversaturation. They have 5 hours. They have 5 hours of wrestling programming that they have to put on every single week. They can't all be bangers, and I get that. Which is why, as Town has pointed out before, maybe they just need to get rid of Collision.
Oh, I think the product would be so much better if they got rid of Collision. I think one of the things I loved about AEW in the beginning was I'd see Cody one week, he'd be gone a week, he'd be back. They weren't there every week, so like it made them feel more important. You know what I mean? When you keep shoveling those same guys out every week, they're getting aged really fast because it's like, oh, I've seen all your shit now. Okay, cool, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I think then it was just to kind of keep. They're like MJF. If he was on the show once a month, you were lucky. So when he came out, it was a big deal. It really was.
Yeah.
And then now, and now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, they're here, cool.
They're supposed
to. It made him feel so different than WWE. That was one of the biggest things. When I started watching AEW, that was like I was ready for wrestling because I hadn't enjoyed it in so long, and I remember watching that first show, and it was good and great. And then I started watching it because I've watched every Dynamite since the first one. And I remember watching that first one and then the first couple, and I'm like, well, they're not putting the same people on TV every week. And it was kind of refreshing because then when you saw them, you actually gave a shit. Because when you see the same person on TV, in 5 segments every week, that gets old really quick unless you're Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock.
Yeah.
Then whatever. You could give The Rock a microphone, a boom, a guitar, and a freaking monkey that plays the drums, and he'd be just rocking and rolling. Wouldn't matter.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I just whatever. I don't know. I just want them to stick around. That's really my focus, and I just think, I don't know. I think what CM Punk pointed out during his rant, wasn't a rant, but his interview the other day, that they're in a different business. And Punk was trying to say, oh, yeah, well, you're not running a wrestling business. But I think that's bullshit. I think that Tony Khan has different priorities than certain other people do. And I don't know what those priorities are. Maybe that's why we're looking at these house numbers or looking at looking at all these numbers and saying, well, what the fuck? How are they still making money? Tony Khan just has a different priority. We just don't know what it is. I don't know.
Could be.
I'm pulling a lot of stuff out of my ass right now because I was not expecting to have this conversation.
I know, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're doing bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're still doing okay, but their attendance just sucks for those TV shows.
Well, and if this had happened with ECW back in the day when they had TV, they'd be fucked. And they were. That happened. Same thing with TNA. Probably the same thing with WCW. Their numbers started getting shit, and they disappeared. They got bought out. And
I think a big part of that, you are right, but a big part of that is the TV deals weren't as sweet back then.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
The TV deals are pretty sweet. That's one thing they have a sweet TV deal.
And wrestling right now, wrestling is safer of an investment than it was back then. They were really taking a chance on ECW, on TNA, on WCW even to some extent. I forgot what my point was.
Perfect.
I think I did it. I don't know.
You did it. It's a weird topic. It's a topic that everybody's arguing about, and I don't know.
I think that's
You gotta find
I think the whole thing of it is, well, not the whole thing of it, but I mean, people think that they have it all figured out, like why they're getting this kind of attendance or why people aren't showing up and everything. And that just goes back to that tribalism shit where they just want to yell at people about shit. Like, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yes. You're
this is
absolutely
why
right.
it is.
That's
This
the
is
most
why it
direct
is what
thing.
it is.
Okay, cool.
It's
All
just-
right, on that note, I got nothing else to say. Leon, just answer the question.
It is true, yeah. The people want their team to win. These are the numbers that they go by.
Like we don't know. Like we got ideas, but it's like folks just want to spew bile at each other over it. Like we don't know.
And
Like you might know why you're not showing up for it. I might know why I'm not showing up for it, but I don't know why the numbers are down.
Leon had the
Like
diarrhea.
we got little ideas, but yeah. Diarrhea, cha.
Tribalism. I think that's a good piece of that. I think it really is.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my other point was, but he went.
It's the folks that really love WWE that just all they want to do is shit on AEW, and
I just don't understand
the AEW fans just want to sit there and talk about like, make excuses for everything. Like, yeah, the numbers are pretty shitty right now. Those crowd shots are ugh, but it's like I don't know why it's happening. I can posit ideas, but I'm not going to sit here and scream at folks that this is why it's happening.
Because CM Punk isn't on the show.
If you like wrestling,
that's why it is.
You can't be mad. You can't be mad because if you like wrestling, there is so much good wrestling right now. Why would you want something to fail? Because AEW, when they came in, they picked up the whole freaking business.
Fucking idea. It's like, if you enjoy professional wrestling, why would you want a company to go under? Like, if you like this shit, if you love this shit, why would you want the folks that give that product, that give that experience to you? Why would you want them to be out of work? Why would you want them not to get paid for what the fuck they're doing for us? But hey, let's just scream about it because reasons.
Because we have to be screaming about something.
Sorry.
Touch grass.
No, you are 120% right. You have answered this question 3 times over.
Not what I was expecting, but yes, Leon, you have dominated this debate. It wasn't even a debate. If you like wrestling right now,
number one. Leon's number one. Leon's number one.
It's probably better to be a wrestling fan now in terms of like the in-ring work than it was during the Attitude Era, because the Attitude Era wrestling sucked. But the wrestling now is incredible. Yeah. It's fucking incredible, and it's just you sit here and you watch these matches, and WWE is doing the same thing now because they have to compete. Like they have to compete with AEW, whether or not they're going to say that, but they have to put on good matches, and they're kicking it up into high gear, and it's just like, yeah, no, this is fucking great. There's nothing bad about this. This is fucking great.
It's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we've always said we wanted WWE to be good. That was one of the things we said. That was like a talking point on here for so long. We wish they were good, and now they're good. Like we have no.
We were so pouty about them not being good all that time, and now they're giving it to us. I don't know.
Good night, everyone. It's time.
Sometimes the voices they just come out.
It just happened. I don't know what to tell you. So this has been. Shazam! I am Gal. This is Leon. There's Town. Bye.
What the fuck was that? Oh, that was good.